All right. Welcome back. Beyond the Robe, Part 3. This is our final episode of Dysfunctional Families. All right. Listen, as always, you know, Beyond the Robe is not a church-based podcast. We just want to have conversation. The intent of this podcast is just to help those who maybe are pastoring or a doctor, lawyer, or whatever you are, whatever you do, and people think that because you are a person of nobility or you're usually strong and you're usually the one that people lean on, that you don't go through normal everyday things. So we want to just cut that and just erase the stigma that pastors and business owners and supervisors and corporates just don't go through anything, and to get some help, because as y'all can see, they crazy. All right. So listen, we are ready to just jump into this thing. I'm super excited tonight. I thank you all for the support and everything that you guys have been doing to show your love. So we're going to jump in there. Do this for me. Go ahead and share this right now. Love it, like it, share it. Follow me on IG @ Beyond the Robe. And then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Beyond the Robe Podcast. All right. So let's hop in it. All right, I got my sister back, and, she's back.
I don't know what that means.
You're funny. You're funny. We gonna have a episode on that. All right, so we got my sister back, my brother back, and then we have our cousin here. I don't know if you want folk to know your government. Sydney Jr. That ninja. Sissy, that's his name. Sissy.
Dead since I was 18. It's over for that.
Well, you was 18 still getting teddy bears for your birthday and stuff.
Hey.
That's an insider.
No. She was
Care Bears.
Care
but
Bears.
that ain't
No.
Care Bears.
No, that wasn't by the girl. We talking about somebody else,
We talking about the same person?
No, we're not. We're not.
Tell them who you talking about since you gonna say it.
Hey, I love my beloved pastor and first lady.
You better be cool.
His godparents.
You better be cool.
Pastor Brown was giving him a teddy bear. He's 18 years old.
You better be cool.
I love it.
You better be cool.
All right, so we gonna hop in. We got Sydney Jr., Sissy, Psycho. Okay. He's here. He's on with us tonight. Just to give you guys some history. His father is he the youngest or the oldest twin?
You got me.
Mommy's older? Okay.
I believe so.
So he's the youngest twin of my grandmother's twins, which our mother is one of those twins. So we are first cousins. Our parents are not only brother and sisters, but they're twins. So, so we here, and I think he can definitely relate to some of the dysfunction in the family. Definitely, when it comes to, they nuts, but we're gonna have him hop in. So man, listen, you've been watching the podcast. There's been some real candid conversations about just some family things, some family dynamics, and you're close to that. And again, my whole goal is to bring healing, to at least start the conversations, to at least get to a place where the family can get on a road to healing. Now, does healing mean what it's going to look like? The family dynamics is going to look like how it used to be? Probably not. Do that mean we will be that family we once were? We don't know. But healing does mean that there's a conversation and there's something to say, okay, now we can move forward. So, man, just jump in there, man. I know you've seen some things. I've seen some comments and, man, what's your thoughts?
Well, I know it was gonna start like that.
Well, listen, everybody really wants the story to be finished, so we might as well just hop right on into it.
I think over the weeks I've been watching, there's been some things that's been said that I've been feeling like is unfair. One of them is chose a side. I, for one, know I never chose a side.
You did.
Ever.
I'm gonna let you finish talking, but you did.
I never chose a side.
Okay.
You did.
Another thing that was said was there's never been conversation. Me and Josh done had a couple of conversations, right?
Yeah, we spoke before.
We've had conversations. Conversations between the individuals that was involved in the crime never occurred.
Okay.
But me and Josh have had conversations. In those conversations, have I ever once told you I didn't understand where you was coming from?
No, you never said you didn't.
I never said that. I never said I didn't understand how you felt. Never. I never chose a side. Let's go here with one instance. When it came down to the day of the courtroom. I was at work. I got a call from my sister. My sister was on the phone crying. She said she had to testify. She said, I'm so scared, this, that, and the third. I work downtown. The Justice Center is 3 minutes away from my job. I'm a boss at my job. What do you think I'm going to do?
Naturally, go see about your sister.
I'm going to go see about my sister.
So you said she said that she had to testify and she was scared, but she was made aware that she was going to have to testify before that day.
That didn't stop her from being scared.
They don't, exactly. The feelings is the feelings. Here's the thing. Even before that day, one thing I never did, and I told you that, and I want to say it was Sean Wynette. I never asked her what happened in that whole situation. This is 13 years later. I never once asked her what happened that night. Why didn't I ask what happened that night? I was not involved. I felt like this is your situation. It's not my situation to fix.
You ain't go on Facebook?
And say what?
You ain't put a post on Facebook and say, because me and you was the ones that had the conversation. And you put a post up and you said, and I don't remember word by word, but I know you said something about your so-called Auntie Kathy and your so-called grandma doing something to your mother and your sisters now. And I ended up, that's where the side came in at, where you chose the side, because I ended up saying whatever I said to you and you said because your brother said it made it the gospel. That's when me and you was changed words at, and that's when I blocked you on Facebook. I stopped talking to you then from that particular day and that post right there.
Okay.
Because what you said to me was because your brother said it made it the gospel. This is the thing, though. I was partially there. When the phone call came through, it came to my house. So I knew what had went on and what was going down.
Right.
After it went down, the people came to my house. The boyfriend, whatever he was, came to my house after it was over with. Which made me ask the question, like, what fully went on? Because me and my daughter live here. I don't want nothing that going on in the street to come back to hurt me and my daughter, because typically that's how life happens. People will go do something and then somebody else will end up getting killed or somebody else will end up getting hurt, and not the person that it was supposed to happen to. It'd be somebody else. So when I asked, this is how I got more and more into detail about what ended up happening. But I was there when she made the phone call.
So let me just ask the question. So you feel like the sides was taken at that moment when the exchange happened on Facebook?
Whatever was said, whether it was out of fear and I want somebody to be here with me, whatever was said, again, that's your sister. That's your little sister. I know how my brother's going to come for me, so I can only imagine how you going to come for your brother. But from that day of that courtroom, that was the day sides was taken. From that very moment.
And let me go here in that courtroom. When I came in that courtroom, I spoke to everybody.
I don't remember that.
Now I will say
Nobody
this.
remembers that.
No,
I don't
here's
remember
what I
that.
do remember. What I remember is a
No.
big controversy.
No, I don't think you spoke.
Well, here's what I
I'ma tell
remember,
you
and
what
I
I
don't
did.
know, and I wasn't there. But what I do remember is a big controversy with grandma, and for those who are watching, we all have the same grandmother, of course, coming home and saying how she couldn't believe her own grandchildren walked past her like she wasn't there. Now, that came out of grandma's mouth. And I don't know who was down there. I didn't go. But Grandma herself said she couldn't believe that her own grandchildren would walk past her like she wasn't there.
Now, let me address both of those. When it came to that situation with Grandma and Auntie Kathy, yes, my sisters felt like they was treated like outcasts after that situation. So, of course, that made me feel some kind of way because I'm like, first of all, this is our grandmother. This ain't
Did you
just...
see your grandma treat her like that?
Hold on, let me finish. I've been quiet. I'm letting y'all talk. Let me talk. I felt some kind of way about that. I did. So, of course, that turned me when it came to that situation. But, fast forward. One thing about it, no matter how I felt about how they said they felt, I still never stopped going to see my grandmother. I never stopped going to see my auntie.
When?
They did.
I don't recall you coming around there, so you must have was coming over when we wasn't there. Because I don't recall you coming over there. I can't say in 13 years that I've bumped into you over there besides when Dwayne died.
Are you serious?
I'm
You've
dead
never
serious.
seen me over there?
Well,
I said he might have, but what I'm saying is I ain't never bumped into it.
Well, I mean,
I never stopped going over there.
Listen, I didn't say that. What I said was when. Was people not there? Because I have never. I didn't say that.
Make an announcement.
I didn't say that.
I think at the end of the day, before the conversation go too far, we probably all need to calm down and to get back in check right quick.
I think everybody is good.
I think so good, but we all over talking, and you can definitely sense the tension in everybody.
Right.
You definitely can at this moment. So you in order to be able to have this conversation and to do what it is that you're trying to do, we're gonna have to get these emotions back in check.
Sure, and not to cut you off, but just so you know. We may go into a part 4. I know I said this was final, but it may spill over into a part 4. But I agree with you.
I want to get back to the question of.
Let me finish the grandma thing. I never stopped going over my grandmother's house. Y'all probably was not there when I was over there, and I guarantee you, every holiday before I stopped at my parents' house, I stopped at grandma's house. Auntie Kathy and Uncle Larry can vouch for that. I guarantee you.
I can.
I guarantee you.
All right.
I guarantee you.
So, all right, and I'll
Let's
give him
get
that.
back to.
I'll give him that.
Let's get back to.
Well, hold on. I have a question I want to ask because, as you all know, out of the 36 grandchildren, 70 great grandchildren, I think 8 great grandchildren. You guys know that I was the favorite. So,
That's a lie.
I mean, let it be known, I was the favorite. But I'm saying that to say, in the conversations that I had with Grandma, it was said that there were grandchildren who walked right past her and didn't speak. You weren't a part of that?
Walking past her and didn't speak? I never did
At the courtroom. Okay.
Never did that.
Okay.
I never did that.
Well, I'll publicly apologize because I thought that you were a part of that.
I always come from a place of respect with my aunties, my grandmothers, whoever. Mm-hmm. Let's face facts. Even though I knew cousins didn't like me, I never not spoke to none of y'all. Mm-hmm. Now, y'all didn't probably speak back.
Who you talk about me? Just say my name.
And not
I'm
only that,
saying.
coming from a place of respect, how is it coming from a place of respect if you went on Facebook and said something about them? How is that respectful? So you saying you always coming from a place of respect, but you basically making it seem like, well, I felt some type of a way. Well, did you address that to them? First of all, Auntie Kathy and Grandma, they're not even social media people.
I never addressed it to them.
Okay, so you say that it's unfair. That's unfair to address them on social media where they can't speak for themselves.
But I will say, after that, after my emotions was in check, I never stopped loving, going around my grandmother and my auntie.
So I think one of the things
After
that
the emotions,
you keep
was
talking
in
about
check.
your grandmother and your auntie, but I ain't heard you say nothing about us yet.
I just did.
No. You said I never stopped loving my grandmother or my auntie. You ain't say I never stopped loving you. I never stopped loving that. I ain't heard that. And I'm not saying that. This is
speaking on grandma and auntie.
This is what I'm trying to say. This
That's
is what
what
I'm
we
getting
was
back
speaking
to.
on.
What I'm getting back to is where it all started from. It started from the phone call saying that she was scared because she had to testify. So my whole thing is we were talking about when the sides were chose. So when you came down there and you sat down there because your sister was afraid, so she say, even though she talking crazy to people and she sending all these messages. So what's she scared for now when it's time for her to do something that she already agreed to do? At what point before she had to testify was it a conversation with me or Dantes or Sean or Smooth or Nene? At what point was it going to be conversations? Because you could say, I never stopped loving grandma, I never stopped loving Auntie Kathy, but people forgetting that we the people that's affected.
I was literally about to say that.
Right now, though, you can't expect me to speak for somebody else. I'm not here to speak for nobody else.
I'm speaking for you.
It's fair, but in the same breath, he said he didn't choose a side. That what we said wasn't fair. So this is where it all go back to from where we said.
But he did choose a side, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel like he chose a side, because he said he never chose a side. He only came down there because his sister said she was scared to testify. Right now, from the beginning, he always said he was neutral. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So why wasn't you there for any other of the court proceedings?
Well,
the other court proceedings.
Well, I think
for another court proceeding.
Well, I
didn't want to just be in no courtroom.
Hold on. Why wouldn't you want to be in the courtroom? Wait a minute, Dantes. Don't cut me off. Hold on.
Hold on. Well, you wait a minute. This is my show. Listen, I think that's a little unfair, and I'm only saying unfair on the strength of this. If I'm going to say that I'm going to remain neutral in something, that means I'm going to stay away.
No.
But
first of all, you cannot do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Not only that, hold on, let me tell you why you can't do that. You want to know why I'm saying what I'm saying? Because out of his mouth, out of his own admission, he said he never asked what was going on, right?
Never did.
That was the opportunity at the court proceedings to hear what was going on. They have to lay out the facts of the case.
So here I am again, because here's my thing. We're not talking about the facts of the case. Where I'm on right now is this neutral ground, and I'm building something here. So this is why I'm kind of going back and But here's what I'm trying to say. If he's saying that I remain neutral, because what we have to remember is that's his sister. Dwayne's our brother. We'll do anything for our brother. Like I assume he'll do anything for his sister.
Nah.
So
we would have done anything for anybody in the family, man. We didn't just look after each other.
You're missing a
point.
point. Because I haven't got on that yet. I'm trying to make one point.
What's your point?
Here's my point. Are you saying that you cannot be neutral and still have allegiance to your sibling?
I think that's, yes, you can do whatever you just said.
No. Do you really believe that, though?
I think that we're going around what the problem is at hand. The problem is not about who you take allegiance to. The problem ain't about nothing. When it came down to it, it came down to size, no matter how you want to look at it. What he just said out of his mouth was, I never ever stopped messing with my auntie, grandma, and Uncle Larry. I've always did that with them. The wild point is, well, what did you forgot about us? Because so at the end of the day, you can't say you neutral and only deal with certain people of the equation. You have to deal with everybody.
That's what I'm trying to say.
What I'm going to tell you is I dealt with who wanted to deal with me. If I come and give you a hug, if I come and say hi and you, hey, or you don't really want to give me a hug, I'm not going to keep trying to give you hugs.
I could say that for myself. I don't want nobody to keep doing it. If I push you off like that, hey, leave me alone.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't speak for everybody else, and I can respect what you're saying, though.
That's what I'm saying.
But hold on, that ain't never happened, though. Listen, at the end of the day,
it ain't never happened.
Listen,
that's a lie.
That's not a lie. At the end of the day, when all of that stuff first went down, who sat down and said, hey, look, man, at the end of the day, this is a mess that such and such got herself in. This is a mess that such and such got himself in. But I don't want me and you to have no problems. None of that happened. That didn't happen from you. That didn't happen from your sister. That didn't happen from your father. That didn't happen from your mother. That didn't happen from nobody. And let me tell you why. Maybe I do feel like we owe something. So if people want to say that I feel entitled or whatever they want to say, yeah. You want to know why? Because we on the losing end. Our brother is the one that's facing 18 years. Your sister is the one that's going around trying to make it seem like she's facing time when she knew she wasn't facing no time. She knew she was the prosecutor's star witness. So she don't have she's not against the fire. My brother is the one that's against the fire.
whether you understand it or not, that was my cousin too.
It was?
What
How
you
many
mean?
letters you wrote him?
So-
how many visits did you
Okay,
go
hold
see him
on.
on?
All right.
Got letters, Josh.
So here I go.
Still got letters.
So here
How
I
many?
go. Here
How
I
many?
go.
How much
Still
money
got
did you
letters.
put on
Here
this
I go.
commissary?
Here I go. Here I go.
I never put money on nobody's commissary.
Okay, but
Ever.
what I'm trying to say is, okay, so before all that stuff happened, before the
You
case
gotta put
happened,
money to show your love.
when they in jail, yeah.
All right,
you
so,
gotta
all
put
right,
money.
time out.
You gotta put money.
All
you
right,
gotta send
time
letters.
out,
You gotta
time
go on
out.
visits.
Josh, here we go. Here is the reasoning for the podcast, the reasoning for conversations. But here's the issue. Everybody want to jump to the core. Everybody want to jump to. That's just like somebody who's going to AA. That instructor not going to be like, you're an alcoholic. We have to figure out.
Yes, they is.
Listen.
They are.
Listen, there are steps in 12-step programs.
But
You
the
don't
first
just
step
go
is
to
admitting.
I understand that. But how do you admit when you Go ahead, I'm gonna let you talk because
Yeah,
I can't
'cause-
make a point. I let everybody make a point. I'm trying to make a point,
Well,
and
I'm
you
about
ain't
to
hearing
say,
me.
right,
Well,
I
you
am
go
hearing
ahead,
you.
and then I'm gonna make my
I
point.
am gonna say it, but one thing and two for sure, you're talking about conversation. This is the
You-
first
no-
conversation, so you gotta understand that emotions are going to be high.
I understand that, but if y'all listen, you'll understand there's a right way to do everything. There's a right and wrong way. There's a healthy way to have conversation.
We having a
It
healthy
is a healthy
conversation.
conversation. To be honest with you, nobody's cussing.
Okay.
Not one time have anybody cussed.
It
Nobody
doesn't matter.
has.
Not cussing doesn't make it not healthy.
But
Because
this
here's
is
what
the
I
first
keep.
conversation, Doc.
But what's unhealthy about it?
I'm gonna let y'all run it. Go ahead.
It's not about nobody
It's
trying
not-
to
you're
run
right.
it,
Because
But
y'all
huh?
in here.
But you
Listen,
invited us
you
as
just.
guests.
I understand what I did.
Right.
You talking, Josh talking it,
No.
and every time I open up my mouth, y'all cutting me off. Y'all ain't even hearing what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead, blood. I'm
Right. Go,
listening.
it's your show. Do your
Yeah,
No,
thing.
yeah.
y'all go ahead.
No,
Go ahead,
I-
go
I-
ahead,
I-
Michael.
Go ahead.
I'm
The
gonna play
emotions is
Tito,
high.
Michael.
Y'all ain't listening.
My
to
emotions
nothing.
ain't high. At the end of the day, this the first conversation. You have to be honest about the situation.
Absolutely.
13, 12, however many years, deaths, everything that went on. They never had a conversation. So for this reason, you're going to have to understand that they're going to have to talk. They're going to have to talk. They're going to have to get past these feelings that has been set on for so long.
So here's what I'm trying to say. In all thy getting, get understanding. If you turn around here and I just bow and pop you right on the podcast, bruh, why'd you pop me right on the podcast? Your whole thing is going to be, you pop me, you hit me in front of hundreds of viewers and without me saying, sus, I didn't want to say out loud, but there's something sticking me in the leg. There's something sticking me. You got to try to understand where something came from. All I keep hearing is, you chose sides, but nobody is peeling back that layer. We talked about that onion, getting to the core. We want to just cut right down and get to the core. Nobody is truly peeling back the layer. Nobody's peeling back. He talked about, and I tried to get an understanding on the whole thing about being neutral and why he came down. That don't matter. You chose a side.
No,
You're not
that-
hearing.
Man, when I was speaking on him being neutral, I was trying to state why I felt like he wasn't being neutral. I was not trying to dismiss what he was saying, and I wasn't trying to stand your throne, Michael. I understand
let
that
me
I'm
ask you,
Tito.
do you have a understanding of why do you have a clear understanding of what he was saying?
No, because we actually didn't get a chance to finish
Because
the
y'all
conversation.
wouldn't. This is why I was trying to slow
Well,
you
first of
down.
all, you stopped
have
it.
an
I
understanding
didn't
of
stop
what
it.
he
I was
said.
I'm trying to get an understanding. I want an understanding.
Okay, well, first of all,
He
this
was
is
my brother too. You know.
I didn't say he wasn't, but you have to understand this is 13 years that we got to fix or put into 30 minutes.
Okay. Well,
It ain't gonna be no
definitely see-
understanding in 30
Well, it's
minutes.
definitely gonna be a part 4.
It could be a 5, a 6, a 7, a 8, a 9, a 10. Who knows? But it's not gonna happen in 30 minutes.
Okay, so
this is
then-
13 years of non-conversations.
Okay, so let's go to the meat. Let's just jump right to
That's
the
what
meat.
we was trying to do.
Well, that ain't what you supposed to do. Because even at a good restaurant, you got an entree. That's what I'm saying. Everybody want to just go for the gusto.
But that's
I mean,
it.
in sex,
Tiz,
you
you the one
got
who
foreplay before.
but you
I mean,
said that
come
this
on.
was episode 3. So if this is supposed to be the finale, this is what we here to do.
Bro, but we can let this thing go on and on.
I'm only following your order.
For those who are joining in, Dysfunctional
I'm
Family.
only following
Part
your
3.
order.
For
First
those
of
who are
all,
joining in, this is Dysfunctional Family Part 3. So as you can see, this ain't script. This is all real. All right, but here's what I'm trying to say. I understand that there are pressing issues that everybody want to get off their heart. But there's other things that you got to get an understanding on.
like
But if
what?
you let them talk, you'll get the understanding. See, the thing is, you talking about peeling back the layers. No, they need to be able to get out what the problem is, and that way they can heal. That way they can start to peel back these layers that you're talking about. Because now I heard Josh when Josh said he felt like I didn't feel this way. And Sissy said, no, it was never that. I only dealt with who dealt with me and who wanted to deal with me. And Josh, I heard this. So now you could be able to go to the next level and say, okay, well, listen, this is why this, that, and the other happened. This is why this, that, and the other happened. You have to get the conversation out.
I understand that.
You have to.
I understand that. If I stab you,
What's wrong
Well,
with you?
if I-
Why you keep talking about hitting and stabbing people?
I understand y'all got the same father, but you ain't gonna gang up on me, all right? Just because I don't know who my daddy is.
You was crazy.
Come on, let's get into it, man.
Let's go. Let's go. So
This is what it boiled down to, okay? Cause nothing about grandma and Auntie Kathy, this is my standpoint, then I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna shut up. Got nothing to do with nothing. If we're gonna talk about a relationship between Sissy and Nene, this is what it's gonna boil down to. When it came down to it, we was on Facebook. I felt like you chose a side because you simply just said yo Auntie Kathy and all them. At that time, you know what I'm saying? I chose a side. When you said whatever you said, you ain't say nothing about Nene. You ain't say nothing about Nene. You ain't say nothing about my mama. You ain't say nothing about my sister. You ain't say nothing about my brothers. You ain't say nothing about my daughter. Nene shouldn't have said nothing at all. But I did because Grandma and Auntie Kathy raised me. So I felt like that at that moment I was supposed to defend them. Then we got into the conversation about what was said and what was done. And when you said the words to me because your brother said it made it the gospel, you offended me. And at that point, I was on this. And I stood by that. And I meant that because your sister said it made it the gospel in your book.
No.
It did because
I never heard.
I don't remember.
I never heard her side of nothing. That's the point. I never asked
whatever
her nothing.
was said, your words were because your brother said it made it the gospel. So I don't remember the conversation.
Because at the end of the day, I felt like none of us four right here, was there that night. None of us were involved in that situation. So that's why I felt that way.
Do you know that people came back and said that your mother supposed to said that she didn't care if her daughter didn't get a job ever again, that she wasn't going to jail, and that my brother was going to jail and he was getting 18 years, and sure enough,
Who
your
said
sister
that?
ain't
Double
going
digits.
to jail.
Double digits.
Definitely what was said.
by-
Exactly. Supposed to have been said at your mother's house.
But-
It's supposed to be. I at this point, I'm just telling you, we're talking about what ended up happening.
But who said that?
I'm not about to get into that.
Because can you?
It definitely was family.
Because I mean, can it be confirmed that was said?
I don't know whether it was said or not,
That's
but
what
what
I'm
I
saying.
can say is
It
your
happened.
sister ain't go to jail and my brother got double digits.
But I can confirm something that was being said because what he just said was I wasn't there, he wasn't there, Dantes wasn't there, Nene wasn't there. But I can confirm what was said.
What was said?
Well, a lot was said because of where I worked at. I was privy to a lot of information. So a lot of things that you didn't know what was happening because you never took the time to ask. That's how I knew what was happening. And that's how I was relaying the message or the information to the family. So what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, do I understand his point or his stance to a degree? Yes, I do. But what I'm also saying is, how do you expect people to feel when you say, well, I'm going to remain neutral? But you coming down here specifically because your sister is testifying. Again, no, we don't know the ins and the outs of it. No, didn't nobody know that you got that phone call. We're looking at it from an outside perspective. This trial is going on for a week, 2 weeks. Now, one time did you come down there after she was due to not testify? But let's take that out the equation. Again, I seen a comment that you said ain't nobody gonna talk about how me and Josh was favorite cousins. That we was for years and years and years and years and years. So let's say that I'm gonna be a prima donna for a second. You knew it was drama in the family and amongst the family as well as I knew. My older cousin, my favorite cousin, I don't get a phone call and say, hey, man, I don't know what the hell going on, man, but, hey, man, I hope we still good. Hey, man, you still my favorite cousin.
You want to know why you never got that phone call?
Yes, I want to know
That
why.
day I went to the courtroom is when I realized that the line in the sand was drawn.
The line in the sand was
on,
drunk.
I just
I
let you
apologize.
talk.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like I said, I spoke to whoever was in there. Hug, kiss, whatever.
No, that did not happen.
Yes,
man.
it did. I'm
No.
gonna tell you what
You
happened.
can't even
after
do that. You can't
Maybe
even do
your
that, cuz in
sisters.
the courtroom.
My
They ain't gonna
sisters
let you
wasn't
do
even
all
there.
that.
I was the only
Dominique was
person
down
there.
there,
Dominique
and,
was not there.
and Reba was
Me
down there.
and Tracy was there. Nobody else was there.
Dominique was down there.
Dominique was not there
Dominique
that day.
did go down there.
Dominique
Maybe
might have
another
came to
day.
Another day.
But when he
Dominique
came,
was not
he was there for the He was, because I was about to say that. He was.
She was
Go
not
ahead.
there.
Keep going. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm sorry.
Like I said, I spoke to everybody, hug, whoever. I knew the line in the sand was drawn when Wayne turned around and he said, y'all come sit over here. And at that time, I felt like crap because I'm like, damn, these my cousins. So now we ain't all family no more.
We weren't family when your sister got on that stand.
Listen,
It was
I'm
before that.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm just saying. I'm commenting. Go ahead.
You saying that you can't speak for nobody else, and I get that. But there's no way to have this conversation without talking about everything and everybody.
I can't speak for nobody else.
There's no way
I'm
to.
speaking for me.
You're going to
I'm
be
speaking
spoken
for
about.
me.
Well, at
Okay,
this
well,
point,
hold
you're
on.
gonna speak on everything
And
else.
speaking
That's
on
what
the
it is.
line in the sand, the line in the sand was drawn when it got out that it was a warrant for their arrest, when it got out that the police was involved. And I personally drove our other cousin who did 10 years and Dwayne over to y'all house, and y'all mom said, y'all can't come in here and talk to us. The police told us not to talk to y'all. That's when the line was drawn, because how she gonna allow the police to govern our family? How's the police gonna tell her she can't talk to her nephews? That's when the line was drawn. The line was drawn when we came as a family to say, hey, what's going on? Or how can we get out of this? And it was like, no, forget y'all. Nope, we ain't about to talk about nothing. Y'all stay away. That's when the line was drawn.
So let me jump in, because like yourself, 13 years, nobody have really truly heard my feelings about the situation. I don't think I've ever talked about the situation, how I feel. But I will say there are a lot of things that I heard. I don't know them to be true, but there were a lot of things that I heard that was really piercing to the heart. Because for so long, I thought we were this dope family, this close family, and I heard so many things that was just like, wow, the biggest day, the happiest day of my life, December 26, 2009, my wedding day. And, my brother was supposed to be in my wedding. And, I hear the reason why was because the FBI was going to be, they said they were at my wedding. Now, of course, I wouldn't know, you're talking 500 guests, but the FBI is sitting in the church at my wedding on something that I ain't had nothing to do with, but, they were told his brother is getting married, he might be there. I heard the FBI was at my wedding. And I'm like, wow, it's so many things that I heard. And even like tonight, I'm hearing so many things I had no clue about. So it's like, I think until we really talk about it like we're doing now, it's almost like, where do you go from here? Where do you go? What do you believe? How do you get to that place of saying, okay, I guess I can see that, or I guess I can understand that? I think I keep hearing a lot about sides. It's just, sides. Who chose sides? Who did what? And I mean, where was that break? I think that's where, and that's the point I was trying to get to earlier, is we understand what happened, but where was the break? Where did the break take place?
I want to give him a chance to talk because I want to hear what he got to say. I promise I'm going to be quiet. But I want to go back to when he said why. You want to know why that conversation didn't happen? I want to hear now why that conversation never happened.
He gonna interrupt.
Why the conversation didn't happen with me and who?
With me and you.
We've talked. What do you
No.
mean?
Let's go back to the beginning of it when everything was happening.
Because I felt like y'all didn't want to talk to us.
So you assumed.
That's what I felt.
So you assumed.
That's what I felt.
So you assumed.
No, he didn't.
The point that I'm trying to make is at the end of the day, what I said was you said you remain neutral. So what I want you to try to understand, since Dantes was stressing that so much, you're not dumb. I'm sure you do, but this is what I want you to understand. For a person who remains neutral in the situation, your sister is in a situation to where she has to testify, or she did testify, as rumor she's going to testify, whatever. But I'm going to get away from that. I'm going to get away from the fact that it's a problem in the family. Everybody knew that it was an ongoing problem in the family. But we favored cousins. We didn't have not one conversation. You said you remained neutral, but when that problem occurred,
Let me
how many
ask you a question, though. Do the phones work both ways?
Yes?
Did you call me? Did you reach out to me?
No. Can I explain why? What you losing? I'm the one that's losing.
I lost family, too. You don't. That's what you're not understanding. I've always, just like I heard you last week, I think it was, you said, one thing I said about her brother, he always came in a respectful manner and a peaceful manner. Always came in a loving manner. It wasn't about respect. It wasn't about peace. It was about love. It was about I never stopped loving none of y'all. And that's facts. That's what manner I came from.
So how we supposed to know that? And we not getting no phone calls. We not getting no text messages. You saying you coming over there on all the holidays. I've never bumped into you. And not one holiday. I haven't.
Brother just told you he did.
I also said that I didn't say that it didn't happen. You sat here this whole interview and said, I can't speak for nobody. I'm speaking for me.
Exactly.
So now I'm
And
speaking
I told
for me.
you that I was there.
So now I'm speaking for me. I didn't dispute that. I said I ain't never ran into you.
Okay.
So to the naked eye, it looks like for 13 years you haven't came around. So what I'm saying is it could have been measures that could have been taken to let it be known, hey, this is where I stand. I ain't got no issue with you, Josh.
It could have been measures between both of us. You can't just put that part on me.
So do you feel?
We both could have talked. You could have called my phone just like I could have called yours.
So let me ask this question. So do you feel that your actions spoke louder than words? The fact that I'm still extending myself, I'm still coming by, whether it's a conversation or not,
That I
I'm
never
still
stopped.
showing. Okay.
That I never stopped.
Okay.
Anytime I've seen you, have I not embraced you with love?
Yeah, that's true.
I've never stopped. Not one time.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Even when it come to Nene, you knew.
I guess you won.
You knew when I said, I speak and you knew I was talking about you, right?
Yeah.
Did I ever stop speaking?
I don't know, because half of the time I
You
went deaf
ignored
ear on
me.
yours, because I wasn't speaking to no damn body. Don't talk to me, don't speak to me, and I stood on
I'm just
that.
saying.
But woman to woman and man to man as an adult, one thing and two for sure that I know is grandma took care of everybody. It wasn't just my mother kids. Everybody grew up at grandma's house. So when grandma
What did
died,
I say? Hold on. What did I say on the first podcast?
Didn't
Didn't I say I was living there too?
I live there too.
I said that.
oh, I don't know. You blocked on my Facebook, so I can't say nothing.
I
But
said I was over there. I was over there damn near just about every weekend.
But what I'm saying is, when she died, yeah, let me put this to the side because this ain't only affect us. This gonna affect everybody. Let me talk to you right quick. I'm gonna laugh with you right quick. I've said this and I say I could be cordial with some. Some I'm just not. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But it is what it is. That goes back to you saying you speaking to me. That's what I'm saying now. I probably walked by, I wasn't saying nothing. I probably turned my head or walked with my head down.
I'll tell
I
you
don't
a
wanna
day you shocked me.
Me?
It was at Dante's birthday party. This was right after you posted that video, the Christmas video when we was little kids.
Yeah. At grandma's house.
and
on
you
the step.
you said, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, I
Me?
was shocked. You.
Boy, I
And
probably
I was shocked.
drunk.
And then you was like, "No, this is what you said." You say, "After seeing that video, how could I not speak?"
Shit. I mean, oh well. I probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's why
I mean,
it
I
hurt.
probably did.
And that's why it cut so deep, because the way that we grew up, that should have never happened.
You know,
What your sister did, that should have never happened. And even if this is what a lot of people don't know, man. Dwayne was prepared to take that case, man. He told them people, man, if you get my cousins out of this, man, I'll go sit down. At the end of the day, man, it was never a conversation. We never came together as a family and said, how are we going to get out of this? We could have put everything on that lane for all it mattered.
I'll tell you one, since we talking about stuff that was on Facebook, I'll tell y'all one Facebook post, and I ain't even going to say who it was. It was one of y'all siblings. Posted on Facebook and said, "Thank you, God, for waking up me and my family, except for Sydney's kids."
It wasn't me.
And
I
when
ain't do that.
And when I
know
read
that wasn't
that,
me.
when
I
I
ain't do
read that, you talk about hurt. I'm like, damn, you want me dead? And I wasn't even involved in it? You talk about hurt?
So how long ago was that? Was that before or after Dwayne died?
That was way before.
People
That was
felt
way before.
people felt betrayed, man.
I get it, but you want me dead? What did I do?
I don't even think that it was an issue of I want you dead.
Post said, "Thank you, God, for waking up me and my family, except for Sydney's kids." How else can you say that?
that's not funny. I'm not laughing
That's
at
you
it.
don't want me to wake up.
Deep.
That's deep.
Why you don't want me to wake up? What did I do? I should be dead? For what? I go to work. I don't mess with nobody. Why should I be dead?
Listen, I don't mean to laugh. I'm a little ignorant. And then I'm feeling a little emotional because I feel bad for Sissy because you can hear the hurt in his voice. So I really feel bad for him. But you know, sometimes,
I feel bad y'all still calling this grown man sissy.
well, some things just will never change.
Couple cousins on my mama's side call me that too still, but that ain't my name.
But for real, though, when people hurt, I mean, hurt people hurt people.
Hurt? Come on, counselor.
I'm just saying.
Hurt people.
Hurt people.
Hurt people. And I will say this, and we're going to wrap it up. We're a little over time, and man, we're gonna. I'm sorry, y'all. We're gonna go into a part 4. It's just so many years. It's just so many years, and this is well needed. And I'm gonna really wrap it up because my emotions is flaring up too. Because
Yeah, it just shouldn't have never happened. It just shouldn't have never happened. And we grew up too tight. He ain't lie. Yeah, we were first cousins. Yeah, we were favorite cousins. So at the end of the day, I think that's wrong. I don't know who said it. I never seen it. I never heard nothing about it. But with that being said, today, I can be man enough and apologize on behalf of my sibling. That shouldn't have been said. Today.
I just think that
You about to cry?
no, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. That's why I'm about to wrap this up because
It just should have never happened.
To have raised us to be such a strong, loving family. I hate she's gone and can't get the satisfaction of being here to see the mending process of her family.
I don't know about no mending and no family.
I understand. I understand that things ain't gonna go, but at least a conversation for understanding.
You know, sometimes everything in life happens for a reason. I'm not saying she's dead for this to happen, but what I am saying is you just never know what type of emotions are put in the atmosphere because you have lost somebody to be able to have someone open up their mind to be able to have a conversation about something that you better believe I was so against. I didn't care who it was. I never wanted to have it. So sometimes things happen for a person to be able to see things different from a different eye. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was just saying, like, when the conversation was high, let him talk. Let DeJuan say what he had to say. Let Sissy say what he had to say. Nobody was disrespectful. Junior. Let Sissy Junior say, you know what I'm saying, what he had to say, because although it may look like it was getting out of control, these are things that need to be said. Absolutely. And even if it was high, whatever, it was heard.
Yeah, it was hurt. And it was a lot of hurt, especially when it comes from siblings. So, speaking of siblings, Dantes, why you want to sit there and just act like you Mr. I keep my mouth shut and I don't do nothing wrong? It's siblings that you don't speak to either.
Let's talk about that. Or is that on next week, Dysfunctional Family?
Who you don't speak to?
He know who he don't speak to.
He don't speak
and
to
he know why.
Don't start sweating now. That little bald head got to shine. don't get, yeah.
In the words of Martin Lawrence on the thin line between love and hate, you don't come up into my establishment. First off, dysfunctional families. Yeah, just because I'm a pastor.
Don't blame it on dysfunctional families.
Just because I'm a pastor doesn't change that I have feelings. And I have a brother that to this day I don't speak to right now. My heart is not open.
Do he know that you are not speaking to him?
Well, I'm sure he knows.
I'm sure he knows. Especially if you know. If you know, he definitely gonna know.
What you trying to say?
You know.
No, y'all use me to get y'all stories out. That's what y'all use me for.
You're right. I do have a brother that I don't speak to right now. And I have a valid reason why I don't speak to that brother.
Why? What's the reason?
No, don't take no glasses off.
All right, we gonna wrap this up tonight.
We want to know
because I feel disrespected. I feel he disrespected my grandmother and her final. You laughing? I ain't playing. I'm not playing. I'm not. My grandmother was a classy woman. All right. And because she know it makes me mad. It makes me mad. My grandmother was a classy woman. My grandmother, it was a sudden death. None of us expected, saw, or thought that God was going to call my grandmother home. And we did what we needed to do as a family. My grandmother, even in her older age, her weight, nothing, she wasn't a sloppy woman. She was a classy woman. And that's the way we should have sent her home. And what he did at her funeral hurt. He didn't do it out of love.
He did do it out of love.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
He had every right to do whatever it was that he did.
No, he don't when you got a program set before you.
Listen.
He, just like everybody else, could have opened up his mouth. That's right. You know what? We're going to end this now.
Oh, I think I know.
We're going to end this now.
I know what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you the truth, though. Can I tell you something real quick?
When I'm done, you sure can.
Go ahead.
He, along with I don't care if he's the oldest grandchild or not. I don't care.
He did he alone.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. He, along with everybody else, had a right to say, I want to take part. Put me on. I want to be a pallbearer. That, and the third. You sat and criticized everything from the moment. Why they burying her so quick? She already gone. What we got to wait 2 and 3 weeks for? She wasn't broke. She had life insurance and money in the bank. What are we waiting for? You criticize that. Why are we taking, what's the rush? What's this, that, and the third? We sitting here, we getting the program together, and what do? You wait till the day of the service to prove a point. You purposely do it, proving a point. You gonna get up there and talk anyway. You gonna, first off, let's talk about those tacky collages he had at the.
You going too far.
No, you shouldn't have brought it up.
Got nothing to do with.
At the end of the day, I specifically got up at her service and said, listen, please stick to the program. For one, you could have opened up your mouth and said you wanted to say something. I specifically said we're going to miss presentations and things that we have. Please don't do this. I got up and said it. He get up there anyway, taking forever in a day, more than 2 minutes. He get up there anyway talking, and guess what happened? She missed out on the horse and carriage that I paid for. I had to eat that $2,500. He ain't give a penny. Oh, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to get up anyway. It's wrong. It's disrespectful. And far as I'm concerned, he owed me an apology. Now, we'll wrap this up on the next one.
I got a question, though. As far as
you disrespected my grandmother final moments.
He did pay for some things, though.
What did he pay for?
He gave up some money for. He gave me the money when asked at the wake for those obituaries. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How did the list of who was going to speak come about?
No, I was about to say ask your father because he was there. It came about with, if you looked on her obituary, it was somebody in every aspect of her life. She sung in a group. We had somebody from the group. She was a faithful member of Corinthian. We had somebody from Corinthian. Over 40 years at Sherwin-Williams. We had somebody from Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
In every area of her life.
So what happened with her grandchildren?
What do you mean? It was one representative for the family. Her children didn't want to speak. Nobody expected grandma to pass. The children didn't want to speak, but then at the last minute, mommy get up there. Josh was represented. Then we had another cousin get up there. I don't like it. And everything we do, you should do it in decent and order. Josh, I thought, did an amazing job. He outlined so many things of grandma's life. Getting up in the morning, praying at 5 a.m. There were things that, we could have talked about. Nana, you talked about how grandma slapped the mess out of you, 6 times or whatever? I don't know what she did.
Don't put my business on
That's
this
right.
podcast.
What she tell you? I ain't afraid of you, and I ain't afraid of you either. Slapped you 6 times. I mean, just so many things. Ray Sean going to get a tattoo. She telling him
it wasn't a tattoo. One of the ear piercings.
It was a tattoo.
And
she told him he couldn't come back in the house until it was gone, and he outside rubbing the ink.
Rubbing the ink like it's gonna just come off. Huh?
Hey, grandma, they said she took his arm and just started beating the tattoo. Put his arm in the middle of her leg, just started beating the tattoo.
You know what? While we on the subject of her, let me tell you something she did to me that I felt like was foul and unfair. I was in the kitchen trying to fix me some cereal or something.
Talking to her.
Nene came downstairs and asked me a question. And she said, what would you do if something happened? I'm probably 12, 13 years old. I said, I kick her ASS. That's what I did. I spelled it out.
Whose?
I don't remember. I just know I spelled it.
I remember, but I ain't said no name.
Grandma comes around the corner from hearing me spell the word and ordered Auntie Kathy to wash my mouth out with soap. That was not right.
Hey, that woman.
I didn't do anything wrong. I did not curse.
I got a story.
I spelled it.
Listen,
and she got Auntie to wash my mouth out with soap.
I ain't gonna name
and
no
it took me over an hour to get that soap out of my mouth.
Hey.
And I didn't appreciate that.
I ain't gonna name no names. I promise. I promise I ain't gonna name no names. But we got a family member who said they picked grandma up from work one day. And
I didn't deserve it.
And the family member say that, they had a friend in the car. And say, grandma get in work. He say, grandma all mean, mugging him and stuff, he like, what's up, mama? What's going, how was your day? Say, grandma look back at his friend and say, such and such, you should be at home with your wife, man. The way he mocked grandma though, man, it was so, she just was a wonderful person, but then they said it best, man. Y'all don't know the real Gene Smith. Like, y'all know Mother Smith, but y'all don't know Gene Smith. And it hurt me. What he did hurt me. It hurt me.
So
she was a classy lady.
Because hurt people.
She was a classy woman.
What he did
everything should be done and decent. It's a way about it.
Well, you should have asked him to be involved. And then
he should have opened up his mouth and said he wanted to be involved. He sat there doing arrangements and everything else at the house.
He probably wasn't in his right mind.
I wanted to be involved, but I didn't know what was going on.
Well, you should have came over. You came over on holidays.
God mercy. Really? Go ahead and wrap this up. I'm ready to get out of here. Let's go. Now y'all went over. This is the dysfunctional family.
We gonna end on that note. Listen, we gonna pick this back up next week. We went over a little on time. Y'all forgive us. We love y'all. We gonna come back and wrap this thing up next week. Maybe, I don't know. We may extend it. Josh, you put me on blast like that again, and I got something up in you. You got it, brother. You know, this is my establishment, not up in here.
Boy, don't you ever pull
just
that
a lot of
card no more.
dysfunction, though.
Talking about some this my show.
This my show.
You don't invite nobody to this show and then
expect them to
poke
be
yourself out.
silenced.
See my dollar back.
That's all right. I'll get that back. I know for sure I'll get that
Listen,
back.
do me a favor. Go to my YouTube page and subscribe to Behind the Robe Podcast. Follow me on IG at _Beyond the Robe.
Can I get on
And
my IG too?
no, don't go to her IG. Please don't. Listen, shout out to my brother Hassan Williams for the graphics. Thank you so much, man. There's so many other businesses we're going to shout out on the next episode. I don't have them in front of me.
And
I
shout
think
out to the
this was-
blood Nasia Pooh who watching. Yeah, that's my girl. Yeah, what's up to Nasia Pooh? And my girl Young Nana. Yeah, just like
And
that.
shout out to my grandmother's sister all the way in Birmingham,
That's what
Alabama.
I was about to say.
Yeah, sure you were.
I swear, that's my
I
girl.
love you, auntie, and
And shout out
everybody
to my
else watching.
auntie up there in Lansing, Michigan. Jew, baby, that's my girl.
What about Aunt Trisha?
I love Trisha. Listen, I was going to get
See,
there.
there we go.
Hey,
All right,
man.
listen.
Shout out
we
to the
outta
whole
here.
family, man.
We out of
What's
here.
up to my brother
Tune
Sean
in
Wild? What's up
next
to
week,
Bill Smooth?
all
What's up
right,
to
we
Jason?
gone. Peace. Peace.
Shout out to Jason.
Thanks for coming on, cuz, man. Shout out to who?
Jason.
Turn this off.
No, shout out to Jason.